Hi guys, it's Emily from Rose in the East. How you all doing? It's been a while since I've actually done a video, so I thought I'd pop on quickly. It's been a bit of a, last week was a bit of an odd week for us. Just nothing seemed to work out, so we didn't do much videoing. I am still suffering from a bad shoulder. Started off as a sort of a pulled muscle, which is it's been bugging me for over a year now, and we just can't seem to find the solution, really. But that's by the by. Something triggered it a couple of weeks back, so it got pulled again, and it leaves me with very little mobility on my left side. I can't turn my head very well. I certainly can't reach round very well, and I just have to be super careful with reaching forward and grabbing things. So I get really angry at myself mainly when I get restricted like that, because there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. Doctors all say, well, just rest your muscles. You've pulled a muscle, let it rest. And it's like, well, how do you rest an intercostal muscle if that's what it is, when you're breathing all the time? At its worst, last year, this particular injury, if you like, almost had me crippled. I couldn't move without being in agony and breathing. I couldn't even take a full breath. And then I went to the doctors, and I couldn't even walk up the stairs to the doctor's room. I was in agony. But anyway, I manage it. I have periods of no pain, absolutely fine. Then I have periods of pain like I'm in now. So we'll just wait for lockdown, and we'll save a bit of money, and we'll eventually be able to go and see potentially a chiropractor or some kind of physiotherapist or something like that. That was the plan before lockdown kicked in, but such is the way of the world at the moment. So I'm feeling a bit better. I'm feeling a bit more positive. Plus, it's a lot sunnier. It was a bit bleh last week, and who wants to video in the bleh? So I thought I'd just do a quick little video, quick little tour of how things are looking in the garden and stuff, things that Andy's up to, and just wanted to say hi, really, to let you know that we're still here. My beautiful roses are coming out. I absolutely, just this little patch here, like if I could box this window just there, the green of the old wooden window frame and the white lace curtains that actually are not that white in real life, but then the orange trellis and the green and the red of the roses. I just love that little picture. I love it. Anyway, let's go see what Andy's up to. Alright, there he is. Or there he was. Andy, you've disappeared into a black hole. What? Let's go in here and find out what he's doing. What is with all this? Hi, Otto. Hello, buddy. Hello, buddy. You are due your haircut. Yes, you are. Alright. Do you want to tell us what you've been doing in there?
Yeah. So, I don't know if you've told them, but we managed to get a second small freezer.
Oh no, I didn't tell them. Yes, so check back over the videos. You'll find where we were talking about our plans for the kitchen and how we needed a small under-counter freezer.
Yeah.
To then move the big freezer, make a pantry in the house, yada yada yada. So we got the freezer.
So that's now on
In the kitchen.
In the kitchen, ready to be filled with
goodies.
Stuff from the tall freezer.
Yeah.
That we want in the house.
That's right. And actually, the little that's the little fridge that was where the new freezer is. So it's but that's still working, isn't it? Because that's plugged in.
Still working. That's still plugged in.
Yeah.
It's got some bits and bobs in it, and that is going to go where that bit of worktop is. So.
All right. By the door. I like it. You've got it, because I absolutely despise this garage. It's so full of spiders. So Andy has made it so that the little fridge, get my words out, and the tall freezer will be right by the door.
So it's going to sit side by side here.
Right.
There'll be a little bit of worktop over top of the under-counter fridge, and then the main freezer will stand up here and open that way.
All right, let me try and back up in here a second.
So you can see this void that I'm just boarding up because that void will harness a home for spiders.
Yes, and your wife does not like spiders.
And she doesn't like spiders. Should have seen the size of the ones that came out of
No,
here.
don't talk about spiders. We don't talk about spiders. No.
So I've just got some of this old board 12mm ply that I'm putting on here.
I mean, it's quite a sizable hole that we're just having to fill up, aren't we? It's a shame, but
it is a shame.
it's a redundant space. The fridge doesn't fit in the space side on, so you're just boarding it up because you love me that much.
It's redundant, and what it will do is give me a hidey hole for electrics.
Ooh.
So I'm planning to take from here, or get another supply done, whether it's by me or an electrician, and go up and over and into there, and then when I get the time and the money, I'll put a socket in here.
So I'm just waving at my reflection in the window. Sorry.
You're weird.
I know. But you love me.
I'll put a socket in here so that we can feed those two fridges properly. For the minute, we'll be just using an extension cable, but
Right. That's not the long-term plan, though, yeah.
not the long-term plan. Long-term plan is a proper socket in there.
But you were... I mean, anyone who knows us over the last 2.5 years will know what we've gone through on this property in terms of shoddy builders, dodgy electrics, crappy plumbers, you name it. We have been shafted by every industry in the trading business. I mean, anyway, so what you've just discovered in the garage. Thankfully, this is not our era. We did not build this garage. No one can blame us for it.
Yeah, unfortunately, they can't blame us for it. So
if we had done it, we'd have done it properly.
Concrete blocks is what you love looking
you've gone all
at.
dark. Yeah.
Concrete block. And you can see, if you can point the camera down here, that at some point, somehow, whether it's tree roots or what, but it's starting to break apart.
Oh.
And I think what's been done is these brick pillars have been put in place to stabilise it. So they're not actually tied into this. They're just there as
So
a brick
hold
pillar
on.
to stabilise it. But
I've never noticed that they're not all the way up to the ceiling, are they?
No,
Why have I never noticed that before?
I don't know.
Yeah, they don't go all the way up to the top.
No, they're not supporting anything weight-wise downward.
Oh.
It is simply a support. When you can look over there, you can see the massive crack that was there when we moved in, but I don't know whether it's getting worse or not.
There.
It's
Yeah, but
probably
it is
about
you have to
8-9
remember
mil.
that this garage was actually a stable for the previous owners. They used to
know.
keep a horse in here.
So you also have to realise that this garage was my dream workshop. So to find out it's been made so shoddily is a little bit annoying, because I don't want to have to knock it down and rebuild it. It's going to cost thousands and thousands.
I actually don't think we would even get planning permission to rebuild it
I don't think
because
this is on any plans.
no.
I don't think they
But
got
we have the property here because it was built so long ago that there's no issues now with the council. But to knock it down and build again, I think we'd have issues.
Yeah. But what I just found, so I'm drilling in some bits of wood in here to support these. Just drilled in the concrete, and
Oh!
the
The
drill
column.
went straight in and just lifted these 4 bricks off the top.
How did it do? Oh,
Just from that, just drilling in there, and poof,
what's that?
came loose.
Dodgy cement or
It just hasn't been bricked properly. It should not come apart like that.
no?
There's not been enough cement put in there. But anyway, I can't do anything about it now,
No.
so I'm just having to make do.
So you is not a happy bunny, are you?
I'm not particularly happy, no.
No. So that's that. That's that. As Andy just said as I was walking out, there's a lot of moaning going on in this video. We've been off for a week and all we can do is moan. No, it's not that bad. Oh, hello, Otto. Look what he's just gone. This dog only ever wants to play fetch. Oh. He's the type of dog that just doesn't know when to stop. We went to my mother's in Somerset last summer or the summer before with the dogs, and actually might have been 2 years ago. It was for my dad's birthday, and there was a whole bunch of guests there for a big family barbecue and whatnot, and all the guests were throwing the tennis ball for Otto on their bit of land because they have a large sort of meadow at the back. And Otto just ran and ran and ran and ran, and he brought balls back, and he ran some more. Somebody else threw him. He ran some more. Somebody else threw the ball. He ran some more. The dog literally wore down his pads on his own paws to the point that we had to physically stick him in a cage and bandage his feet up because he just wouldn't stop. He became that obsessed. So now we have to be super careful with any balls that we have lying around. Any toy that could potentially be thrown has to be kept away from Otto, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh.
Crazy dog.
Crazy dog. So I'm just trying to remember how far we showed of what we did out here. Did we show? Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We showed the squaring off of the vegetable garden area so that we could have access to the swing without stepping all over chicken poo.
Yeah, I've dug it.
Yeah, I'm going to go into there and show out. So yeah, so this is, I think this is probably permanently going to be the shape of this area of garden at the minute, isn't it?
At the moment, yeah.
Yeah, so my dream would be, we start down here, you'll understand better. So you've got the back door over there. So I would love for all of this to be nice garden. Not DIY garden. He just stuck his tongue out at me. Yeah, I'd like all of this to be nice garden. So the dream would be to remove all this grass because it is just molehill ridden. Reseed it all, level everything out, reseed it, make it nice and flat. Hey! I'm talking here! I can't hear you! So yeah, it would be to make this our nice, lovely garden with, Andy wants to make a lovely bench that resembles this, but obviously out of wood. And I'd have all my flowers, I'd have my roses. This would be the sort of social area. And then the dream is to have a lovely white picket fence that goes across there with a gate about there going into the chicken area. So we would go in like this, da da da, hop over, no, go through a gate, and we'd go, hi girlies, how you doing? And we'd say a little hidey hi to Magma and Snowy, who by the way now is laying. Everybody is now laying, so that's fantastic. And then the dream would be to have another gate, I think probably about here, to go into the vegetables. So then we just literally go straight across, and we can either have a lovely swing, do a bit of gardening, chill out in Mother Nature. So yeah, so not a massive amount has changed in the vegetable beds. We've dug out, we couldn't build another raised bed, we don't have the money for any more wood. So we've planted some more potatoes in here. Unfortunately, we also don't have enough money to get any more soil, so we were never able to soil up over the potatoes because you would normally just keep piling on some soil to encourage growth down in the roots for your big potatoes, but we couldn't do that. So it is all puffed up and leafy, it is what it is. And you can clearly see how the walnut tree has affected the potatoes, because the closer you get to the roots of the tree, the less growth you have. Itty bitty potatoes, nice big potatoes. So when we decided to make another bed for potatoes, rather than parallel it or just extend that current bed, we thought we'll just move it as far over as we can. So we dug it here. So there we go. So the parsley's in. What else have we got down here? Oh, oregano has not seeded up yet. But the beetroots are all seeding up, which is fab. There we go, beetroots are coming up. Oh, as are the carrots. I don't know if you can see. There you go, the carrots coming up. And I probably should have thinned out the carrots over there, but hey ho. I can still pull out a few more. Probably might do that tomorrow. The beans are looking a bit sorry for themselves at the moment. I'm not sure what's up with the beans. We keep trying to come out and water them first thing in the morning so it doesn't get too hot, but I think we're going to have to splurge out and get some straw mulch or something like that, just to cover up the soil, because during the day it is really dry in the ground. I mean, just feeling the ground now, it's bone dry, and it was soaked this morning, so we might have to invest in some mulch. Our tomatoes, there's definitely some new growth on there, so they're doing okay. What have we got here? Shallots. I keep wanting to say spring onions. I don't know why I can't get this into my head. They are not spring onions, they are shallots. That is a very different type of onion. Ugh. Anyway, what else have we got growing down here? Let's have a look. Courgettes. The raspberries are doing all right, and the lettuces are doing awesome. Come look at these. Look at these bad boys. We're going to have a heck of a lot of lettuce. So the difference in sizes are due to different times of putting them out. We tried to stagger them a little bit. Normally, what we had originally planned to do was stagger the original seeding process so that we didn't have a whole load of big lettuce all at the same time, because we were never going to be able to eat it all. But actually what we found was that just by potting them up at different stages actually allowed for different levels of growth. So then we put the stuff on the right hand side into the ground sooner, so they've been allowed to grow bigger in bigger soil areas, and then these were kept in pots for a lot longer, hence them being smaller sizes. So in theory we should be able to harvest from the right to the left, you know, repeatedly without having too much lettuce leaves all at once. That's the plan. I can't guarantee it's going to work, but there you go. Strawberries are doing well. We definitely had some flowers on there. Yep, there we go. So they should be producing soon. And this is basically what's left in the greenhouse. So this table isn't going to be staying there. We're just trying to, I'm in an R-ring because we still have a few little plants at the back there, but we just don't have the space to put them in. There's a couple of squash at the back, which we're actually just going to plant straight into the ground and leave them to crawl over the ground. So fingers crossed they grow there. And otherwise everything has now been bagged up. So we've got some tomatoes growing in here. And there's some cucumbers growing at the back over there and along behind there. And the loofahs, which I don't think we're going to get much success with this year. They're kind of drying out. So there you go, that's a little garden update for you. As you can probably tell, we didn't move any more of the lupins, which I'm kind of glad at. So the bigger ones here, the darker purples there, are starting to dry out. So if I wanted to, I could clip off the dead ones, and I'd probably get another shoot of flowers again. But as we're looking at moving them, I'm actually just going to leave them to do their thing, dry out, and catch the seeds as best I can, and then we'll move the seeds over to the front of the garden for next year. That's the plan. So here we go. So they're the girls. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's great. They come running over to us now because they just assume that we're always going to come with food. So we've managed to solve quite a few problems of late. I can't actually remember what we discussed with you, but we kind of figured out the pecking order of the hens now. So Pepper over there is the bottom of the pile. Snowy is not far behind her, to be honest with you. So these two are definitely bottom ranked. These two are almost equal, but I think Magma is chief hen around here. Esther there was pecking away at Snowy and Esther and stopping them from getting any food. So we had to we were watching them really closely to figure out who was the boss around here. So we thought originally it was actually Esther, but as Magma came up to the feeding bowl just down there, Esther was pecking away at Pepper and Snowy and stopping them from eating, but then Magma came up and Esther was about to peck at Magma as she had done the others until she realised who it was she was about to peck. And then there was the funniest standoff between the two of them. It was hilarious to watch. So Esther was not going to tell Magma off. So we definitely think that Magma is chief hen around here. But Esther is very, very bossy. So what we were figuring out was how to make sure that Snowy and Pepper were getting enough food, because they were starting to look a little thin. So we basically doubled up on the food and the water. So we now have a food and water trough or bucket, if you like, out here in the open. And it's quite nice because, well, usually it's a bit further around in the shade. So they get to keep some food and some water in the shade. But then we also still have the food and water in the chicken run. So that way, if anyone's getting bothered over by the tree, they know that they can just come in here and they've got their food and water in here as well. There we go. So as the nights have been getting a bit warmer, the girls have been going into the chicken house less and less. So we're not going to force the issue. We decided to just leave them to it. We didn't see the point in deliberately putting them into somewhere where they weren't comfortable. They're not going to get attacked in this run. It's well secured. Now that the roof is on, it's water safe at the very least. I was going to say watertight, but that's not really what it is. And the house is open, so if they do get cold, they can just wander in whenever they want. But of late, they've either been roosting on the top or on the branches. So we're fine with that. It doesn't bother us one way or the other. And if they're happy, then really, why would you want to change it? We also managed to solve the issue of which box. I'm trying to point to both of them here. Not going to work. That one and that one. They were originally all laying in the one box, and chickens are creatures of habit, creatures of safety, and once one hen lays in one box, that signals to all the other hens that that is a safe place to lay, so they all want to lay in there. The problem is they usually all want to lay at the same time. So we were finding that we were lifting up that little box, which is really only just big enough for one hen, but there was literally two hens, one sitting on top of the other, both trying to lay. So that was not going to work. So we tried putting some boiled eggs into the other box to sort of con them into thinking that both boxes were being used. That didn't work. We tried picking the chicken up out of the nest box and putting it in the other one. That didn't work. So in the end, I just thought, well, why don't I just pick up the egg as soon as it's laid and put the freshly laid egg in the other box? Lo and behold, it worked. Of all the things, it was nice and easy. So for 2 days, we just, as soon as we would go out quite regularly, and as soon as we saw that one egg had been laid in one box, we picked it up and moved it into the other one, and we would just gradually move all the eggs over to the other box, and we left them in there overnight, and we'd come back the next day and just sort of separate them out, so it would be like 2 eggs in one box, 2 eggs in another, and by 2 or 3 days both boxes were being used to lay in. So we conquered that one as well quite nicely, so that was good. So now both boxes are being used, nobody's being squashed, and we are now getting 4 eggs, which is fab. We have more eggs than we know what to do with at the moment. So that's us at the moment, just kind of plodding along. Oh, I should tell you also that on the website you can now buy our t-shirts. I mean, you always could buy our t-shirts through the website, but we now have the Rainbow 2020 t-shirt. There we go. So you can grab your own commemorative t-shirt if you like. Share the rainbows all around your community. Spread the symbol of hope for this coronavirus. Support your NHS and share the rainbows. So they are up on our Teemo website. So if you go to our normal website, which is roseintheeast.com, and if you click on, there's a tab along the top that says t-shirts, or there's also one of the boxes on the front page says, do you want a t-shirt? You can go there and you can choose either the t-shirts with our logos on or t-shirts with the rainbow one. So it's pretty cool. They've got them in men's sizes, women's sizes, kids sizes. They should all be there. So grab one. We'd love to see them all over the place. Yeah, finishing up in here then. It's a shame it goes all dark. How can I...
It's because you're looking at the door.
If I stand back far enough, I get enough light in the video.
Yeah.
There we go. So you found some plasterboard and you're just filling the hole with that. Sweet!
The whole idea is to get rid of everything in the garage.
Yes.
I've got it as a usable space. And this plasterboard was in the way.
The plasterboard was in the way, so it had to be used up.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with all this foam? It's insulation, isn't it?
I should have chucked it behind here, really, shouldn't I?
You should have done. There you go. Out of sight, out of mind.
Well, I would have been insulating this very corner.
Yes, because the fridge needed insulating.
Well, the freezer would benefit from it in summer.
Would it? Oh well.
No.
Never mind, never mind. Good. Well, there you go, folks. A short video, but a quick catch up on what we're up to. And if my shoulder ever decides to come back into place, or whatever it is that it's trying to do, loosen up, whatever it is, I'm sure I'll be a little bit more active. And do excuse the fluffy hair. We're trying out a new solid shampoo bar. We've been using solid shampoos for almost a year now in an attempt to remain as plastic free as possible. But we're trying one that is now a 2-in-1, so shampoo and conditioner in a solid block. It just means that my hair needs a bit of time to get used to it, so it's all a bit fly away at the moment. But it has worked miracles for Constance's hair, which was extremely greasy, and our usual brand of solid shampoo bars was not doing the trick. So I'll be sure to link to those guys in the comments below. So Conscious Life for the normal hair and Zero Waste Path for this new 2-in-1 solid bar, which hopefully I will be stocking very soon in our online shop, which will be good. So you can keep an eye out for that. Do follow us on Instagram if you want all the updates for the Eco Shop, because that's usually where I post most of that stuff on. So yeah, let us know if there's anything else you want to know. What do you think, Andy? Do you think we could do a Q's and A's or do a get to know us better? Do you think you could share some facts about your life?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Not that anyone would want to know.
Your life is interesting. Anyway,
no.
I'll convince him to do a little video for you guys. How's that? In the meantime, we love you lots. Stay home, stay safe. We'll keep you updated on some things going on for coronavirus and whatnot. I'm sure in the next video, decisions to be made about school and such on government recommendations and things. But yeah, in the meantime, love you lots. God bless. See you in the next video.